everyone, welcome back to Scrummy. For any new followers, my name is Katrina and I love to cook and bake. Lots of the recipes I do are ones I grew up with. My mum was a great baker and cook and I always had a keen interest in it too, so I love sharing my recipes with you. Today I'm going to make a quiche Lorraine, a lovely recipe for this time of the year. I'm going to do one with just cheese and bacon, but I will include a couple of other options for you if you prefer not to have meat. So to get started, I'm going to make a simple pastry. In here I've got 175 grams of plain flour and I'm going to add in 75 grams of butter. I like to grate and freeze my butter because you get a much better pastry if you do. It also makes it a lot easier to rub it in as well. So we're rubbing it into the flour and we want to get breadcrumb consistency. You rub it in with the tips of your fingertips, just like that. A quiche Lorraine is a brilliant way to use up leftovers in your fridge. You can have so many different varieties. Great, I'm happy with that. I've got 3 tablespoons of water here. I may not use it all, so I'm just going to pour in some and mix it in with a fork. And if I need more, I can add more in. Flour does have different absorption levels, so depending on the flour you use, you may need more or less water. And I'm going to need the rest, so get that in there. Sometimes I find it easier to bring it together with your hands, like that. All right, I'm happy with that. Usually at this stage I'd wrap it in some cling wrap and I'd put it in the fridge. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to roll it out, put it onto my tin and put it in the fridge for half an hour then. So sprinkle some flour on your worktop. We want to roll it out big enough for this tin. It's an 8-inch tin and we want it to come up the sides as well. So lots of flour, and flour your rolling pin too. And just roll it like that and move it around. You kind of want a circle. If you want to put it in the fridge for half an hour and then roll it out, you can either. I'm just saving some time. That should do it. Just measure your tin. That's perfect. And then just push it down like that. If you haven't rolled it long enough and you're kind of short here, just pull a little bit of the excess off and stick it onto the pastry. I'm going to leave it like that now. I'm not going to cut the excess pastry off because once you bake pastry, it'll shrink in the oven. When it's baked, I will cut the excess off then. Before I put it in the fridge, I'm going to prick it all over with a fork. This is ready for the fridge now, so we're going to get it in there for about half an hour. My pastry's been chilling for half an hour, so the next stage is we need to get this into the oven and bake it blind. We bake it blind so we don't get a soggy bottom. So what I'm going to do is get myself some greaseproof paper and just roll it up. I'm going to sit this now onto my pastry. I've got these baking beans. If you don't have these, you could use rice, pasta, lentils, anything like that. So these just prevent the pastry from rising up. This is ready for the oven now, so it's going into the oven for a total of 25 minutes. For the first 20 minutes, I'm going to leave the greaseproof paper on and my baking beans, and then I'm going to remove them and just leave the pastry in there without anything for a further 5 minutes. So let's get it into the oven now. Here it is, my pastry is fully baked. It's a nice golden colour, and I just used a sharp knife to cut the pieces of pastry off that were quite high. I'm going to add some cheese to the bottom. I've got 250 grams of cheddar cheese here. You can use Gruyere cheese either. I'm not going to put it all on the bottom. I'm going to leave some so I can put some on the top. Perfect. I fried an onion in some olive oil, just cooked it for a couple of minutes, and it's nice and soft, so I'm going to sprinkle that over the cheese. Now for the bacon, I fried the bacon. I'm using streaky rasher. You can use smoked or unsmoked, or you can just use normal bacon either. 200 grams, and I've just cut it up, fried it for a couple of minutes, and just get that on the top of the onion and cheese. Great. I'm going to add the rest of the cheese now to the top of that. Give it a nice golden colour as it bakes in the oven. Okay, I've got 2 eggs here, and I've got 100 ml of double cream. Get it in there and give everything a good mix. Just going to set that to one side. Going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. Pepper first. And a little salt, not too much because there's salt in the bacon. Set this to one side. And I'm going to pour this all over. This is going into the oven now for just 20 minutes. Just look how it turned out. Nice golden top, just how a quiche should be. Let's cut a slice. You can really see the bacon and cheese in there, and best of all, no soggy bottom. I'll share some more tasty filling ideas in the recipe below. This goes perfectly with a crisp salad, or you could try it alongside my carnation coleslaw or beetroot jelly. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment and share. See you all soon. Happy baking and enjoy.